Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. At Wrigley Field Wednesday, the Braves pounded the Cubs 9-2. Atlanta put up 6 runs in the top of the 7th. Max Fried struck out 9 while throwing a 3-hitter for his second complete game of the season. Marcell Ozuna, Matt Olson, and Adam Duvall homered for the Braves, who had dropped 5 of 6. Chicago's runs came in the bottom of the 6th and the 8th. Miguel Amaya had an RBI ground out. Then in the 8th, Dansby Swanson scored on a wild pitch. The Blue Jays beat the White Sox 9-2. Toronto scored 7 times in the bottom of the 2nd. Bo Bichette homered and had 3 RBI. Dalton Varsho reached base 3 times and drove in a pair. Chicago wrapped up their road trip at 1-5. Tommy Pham had a solo homer. Paul DeJong hit a sac fly. The Sox are just 5-21 away from home. Bears OTAs continue today as the team gets set for mandatory minicamp in June. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America, N.A.
Something amazing is happening in education. Students are inspired and engaged. That's because school districts consulted with CDW, who designed modern classroom solutions with pre-configured HP devices, making learning more accessible, secure, and immersive. Now, when students study topics like elephants, it feels like elephants are there with them. HP and CDW make amazing happen. Learn.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome to Out to Lunch with WRMN. We appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being here. There's not a mouse in my pocket. Just the rest of us listeners, the rest of us here to be part of the communication that is today in the Out to Lunch. Some great things happening today. We had a fantastic show started. Don't know if you caught it or not, but it was great. Really, really good information about Kane County and the political side of Kane County. I look forward to listening to it every other Thursday, and that's every other Thursday with Marky B right here from 9 to 10, and it's called Kane County Speaks. It's wonderful. It is informative. I got to learn a lot about just how the inner workings of Kane County happen, where you can actually get involved. So if you want to listen to that interview, if you want to see that show, if you want to re-listen, if you saw it live and didn't catch all of it, go over to the YouTube side. That's what we do. We archive everything right now that we do here in studio on the YouTube. Well, on the YouTube channel. Let's finish, I guess, the rest of that sentence. But find us there. Join our digital playground. Lots of you already have. I don't know if you know this or not, but the majority of the viewers that are on YouTube for the station are actually over the age of 65. You hear that? Do you hear that? That's fantastic. You hear that because those are people that do not adopt technology as often. And they're beating the pants out of the rest of you. Where are you, Gen X? Where are you, millennials? Let's get to it. So you can find more information about WRMN at WRMN1410.com, or like I said, that YouTube channel. And that YouTube channel is WRMN Radio. You can type in WRMN, you can type in WRMN 1410, WRM Radio, etc. into the search. I think you could even get away with putting in Elgin Radio. Right there in that side. Hello, how are you, sir? I'm doing well. I'm glad you got something. Did you get something good next door? There it is. What did you get? Culver's and a sweet basil. Well, I hope you enjoy those. He goes there all the time, he says. Well, thank you, sir. That's a radio shopper right there. It's nice to see you. Raging Richard came in. It's nice to see you, Raging Richard. Yeah, have a happy Memorial Day. So, if you didn't know, you can actually save some deals. Let's just jump right into it. Raging Richard is a great segue for coming in. He just popped his head in to the studio. That's right. Live studio right here on the street. Get to see my fantastic across the street neighbors put up their new sign, Shawarma Stop. Can't wait to go in there. Can't wait to stop in. But Richard stopped in, and he stopped in for some gift certificates right there. So you can go to WRMN1410.com. You can find out that information of all of the different gift certificates that we have out there, or you can stop in right here at 16 Douglas. 16 Douglas is where the home of radio shopping is. And you can go right over there, talk to our radio shopping concierge, Mr. Matt McNeil, and he will walk you through the inventory for the radio shopping side. And I will tell you, if you need a package, let's say you're like, hey, I've got a birthday party coming up for my friend, and I want to take them out. And they live in this town over here. I live in a different town. Can we compare the two places and see if maybe it's better for me to meet them or them to come down here? Let's try to compare these packages. He'll actually sit down with you and walk you through, oh, yeah, you could do this at this time and then over here. It's really neat to watch him work because he almost sees the entire inventory in his mind, and he's able to say, okay, well, if you're here, oh, well, then you're going to be hungry, so you might as well do this. And if it's not too late, then you can go over here for drinks, and you can get a gift certificate for everything you're doing for that evening. It's really great. It's really cool. It's almost like a neat game to see how much money you can save by planning a trip. It's weird. You turn around and you plan a trip, and it's like, oh, I got to pay this, and I got to get parking over here, and I got to get gas, and I got to do whatever. What I like about playing, it's almost like the radio shopping game. I play, okay, I'm going to plan a trip to this city. I don't usually visit it. I want to see it. I want to experience it. What do they have over there? I go into the radio shopping inventory, and you can see that right there, WRMN1410.com. You can see it right there on the right-hand side, big button that says radio shopping. You can see the daily deals that we've got that you can only get to redeem here on the air or in the redemption center. You can see those daily deals right there. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up for the text club. There's lots of different ways for you to hear those deals. But what's really neat is you can actually find and search based off of city and say, hey, I want something in Elgin. I want something in Dundee. I want something in St. Charles. You pick a place and you say, this is where I want to go, and you can see all of the things that are there. So then what Matt does is a little bit extra, is he'll actually make a deal and say, you know what, why don't we just put it together in a package? So it really behooves you to come in here and actually just talk with us a little bit, and we could make something for you. Save you some dollars, at least pay for the gas to get out there. That's how we want to do it. That's how at least I do it. If I can save the gas or more to drive out there, it was worth the entire thing. And I'm talking savings, not just the $5, $6 savings. I'm talking you could put a good package together and save upwards of $15 to $20, depending on what day you're really looking for. So some of the things that I've got here on my docket that they've put in front of me is some announcements as we get moving through the day. By any accord, if you ever want to change the subject on out to lunch, go ahead and give us a call. If I'm not directly in an interview with somebody else, and how it would be so rude if I interrupted them, by all means, interrupt me. I like to talk too much sometimes, but I've got 10 hours a week to fill. UTC, the Elgin Council number 412, is having its 6th annual rib dinner. That's Saturday, June 15th, 5 to 8 p.m., 280 in South Melrose, Elgin, Illinois. The menu includes ribs, a vegetable tray, dips, potato salads, salads that aren't made of potatoes, baked beans, rolls and butter, desserts, beverages, and door prizes. Every single one of those things I listed off, including the salads that aren't potato, just, regular salads, all for $20. Oh, of course, the ribs. I mean, that's what you go for. You don't go for the accoutrement of salads. But having that vegetable tray, having the ribs that are there, raffles that are happening. And I'll tell you, they put a picture, and it looks like a picture from last year's ribs, probably the 5th annual ribs. Ooh, and I'll tell you, it is tasty. I don't have a digital copy, so I'm just going to hold it in front of the camera. What? Cameras on the radio? Yeah, you're missing out. Go to youtube.com. Go ahead and check us out over there. For more information and or tickets, contact Gary at 847-695-9599. Again, that is the United Commercial Travelers, Elgin Council, number 412. The 6th annual rib dinner. Get some ribs out there. Call Gary at 847-695-9599. All of the delicious things that are happening there. Hey, I call in for an interruption, and sure enough, I get one. Got a caller on the phone. Hello, caller. What would you like to talk about today?
Well, Stoner, this is Bob the Brain again.
Hey, Bob.
I had called you about 3 minutes before you had to go off the air the last time.
It's true. We were talking about education, and I believe it was Motivational Monday that you jumped in.
Right. Time goes by when you're having a great time.
It's true. My goodness, it feels like it was weeks ago, but it wasn't. It was just a few hours, really, in radio time. What would you like to continue your story? Where I left off with it, I think you were talking about your family and how education has provided them some great opportunities in their life. So really, let's hear about you.
Okay. Well, I think the last thing I mentioned before was that I was very fortunate. I was able to attend Lane Tech High School, which was a magnet school at that time. You had to maintain a B average in your first semester in order to transfer there. I was very lucky. I was able to get in. They had a tremendous college prep program there, where you would pick a particular industry, and they would put together a program that would get you started on the right path towards college.
Did they call that a vocational school at the time, or did they call it like a trade school?
They called it vocational.
Vocational? Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyway, the thing that I wanted to say before that was the fact that my father died when I was 9. He was an insurance salesman during the Depression. Things were pretty tough. He made my mother promise him that neither of his 2 sons, a younger brother, would ever be a salesman because it was a miserable job. I was supposed to become a doctor because he couldn't get married until he got his youngest brother, through medical school because he had to help support him through that endeavor. So that was going to be my goal. I was going to become a doctor. Never happened. Mostly because he passed away when I was 9.
Do you think if he was around? Do you think if he was around with you, sir, that if he would have pushed you towards getting that MD?
At the age of 9, I don't really think that I had given an awful lot of thought to it.
Fair enough.
To tell you the truth, but it became obvious when I graduated from high school. My mother said, "Okay, now you have to go on to college." And I said, "Mom, how's that going to happen? We don't have that kind of money." And she said, "Well, you've got a part-time job." I said, "Yeah, but that won't pay for it." She says, "Well, I've got a job now. I can contribute a little bit. You make up your mind. You're going to have to continue your education." And I said, "Well, medical is out of the picture because when I was in high school, I was studying electronics."
There you go.
That was the area that I wanted to be involved with, electronics and communications.
How did you feel about biology at the time, though? Like, for me, as a person who does electronics, I don't like biology. I don't like the other side of it.
It really didn't interest me. I didn't like going to see the doctor. So anyhow, so I enrolled in American Institute of Technology, or American Institute, ATIT, American Television Institute.
Okay.
They had an agreement with Northwestern University where I could gain certain credits towards a degree, but I would have to finish up at Northwestern in my senior year to get the additional credits that were needed, humanities and language, so on and so forth. I held down 2 part-time jobs in addition to the school, which was from 8 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That gave me time for 2 part-time jobs. And frankly, I was losing my hair from lack of sleep.
I can believe that.
I decided that I was going to have to do something different and find a better part-time job. Was reading the newspaper and came across an article looking for electronic technician part-time job, good pay. It turned out to be Dictaphone Corporation. I went down and interviewed, got a part-time job repairing amplifiers.
Okay.
All of their employees were mechanics. None of them had any electronic experience. And I found the job to be very, very easy. Most of the jobs were simply replacing the silicon rectifiers, the selenium rectifiers, and the capacitors and the amplifiers. They were the tube-type amps.
And then once that bridge is put together, that's it. You don't have to you send it right back out of the shop. A 15-minute repair.
In 2 months' time, I pretty much cleared off their of amplifiers. One day I got there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:30, and the boss said, "I'm leaving at 5. I need to talk to you before I leave." Okay, and I figured the job's over. I had taught a couple of the other people how to change the rectifiers and the capacitors. And I went into the office, and the boss, who was a fellow Italian fellow, and he says, "Bob," he says, "you pretty much cleaned the shelves for us." I says, "Yeah, I guess I did." I says, "I suppose you don't need me anymore." He says, "No," he says, "we need you very much. We want you to come to work for us full time."
Wow.
And I said, "I can't do that. I have to finish my education. My mother would kill me." He says, "Well, can you go to school nights and work for us days?" I says, "I'll look into it." He says, "You look into it." He says, "If you do that," he says, "we'll pay your tuition besides that, and we'll double your hourly salary."
Wow. And that shows you the knowledge that's there, right? Is in and I guess a world of mechanics, the electrician is king, right? I guess it proves it from there. But it's if you didn't have that education before you got into that job or before you got into that position, you're not able to utilize it in that time period, right?
That's right.
So
Really,
education is only as good
about 9
as
months of school at that time.
and
But,
education is only as good as what you prepare for or what you take with you. If you look at it kind of like a toolbox, is if I don't bring my toolbox with me to a job, it doesn't matter what problem shows up. I'm not prepared for it because I didn't bring the tools. So, what words of wisdom do you have for young Brain to put him on the right track?
Okay, now what I'm going to tell you from this point on is not a suggestion you should do what I did. Only the fact that what I did I'm very happy with.
Good.
Another 2 months of going to school nights and working days was keeping me the same number of hours of sleep, and I decided that I had found my niche in life. And I continued working for that company for 40 years, not in the capacity of a mechanic repairing things. They later offered me a job that my father I should never take, which was a salesman.
Yeah.
Never received a salary from that day forward for an additional 38 years before I retired, but lived very comfortably. And that's my story for what it's worth. That's
great to hear it, and it's worth quite a bit. It's words of wisdom like that are worth your weight, sir, worth your weight in gold. And I appreciate you giving that to us. We got to hit to another caller, but thanks for being on, and thanks for finishing your story with us.
I'm listening. Take care.
You too.
I know.
That was Bob the Brain, submariner, not submariner, please. He's not below the mariner. He is a submariner. Let's talk to another person. Hello, caller. How are you today? Welcome to Out to Lunch on WRMN.
Yeah, hello, this is Donna. I'm having a garage sale today. Is this appropriate to let people know where it is?
Absolutely, Donna. Where are you having this garage sale at?
On the west side of Elgin, over by Abbott Middle School.
You said the west side of Elgin?
And right near Abbott Middle School.
Okay.
And it's 207 Walter Court off of Erie Street.
I got 207 Walter Court.
Walter off of Erie Street. 2 blocks from south of Abbott Middle School.
Are you just doing it for today, or is it going through the weekend?
It's today, tomorrow, and Saturday from 9 to 4.
9 to 4, Donna?
Right. Lots of craft items, lots of household items.
Oh, great. What do you do craft-wise?
Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, patriotic.
Wow.
4th of July.
So that's 207 Walter Court, and you are having your garage sale from 9 to 4 for the rest of the weekend, you said?
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Of course, even God had to take a day off.
Correct.
So,
But
yeah.
Anyway, and so there's a lot of craft supplies, dirt cheap craft supplies for any crafter. And don't miss this one. It's a good one.
It sounds like a good one. What's your beverage of choice as you're sitting out there on your chair watching over the sale? Is it iced tea?
I'm drinking water, but my friends are telling me I'm drinking vodka because they think they're funny.
Oh, they got to pull your leg, otherwise they wouldn't be your friends. Donna, thanks for calling in. What I'll also do is I will add that to Tradio as well, and we'll make sure that Matt announces that over the next couple of days.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Donna. Thanks for listening as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Donna. She's having a garage sale, 207 Walter Court. That's right off of Erie here in Elgin. That is 9 to 4. She's doing it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Go check it out. Craft supplies. Craft supplies. That's what she wanted to make sure that everybody knew. So if you are into crafting already and you're always on the hunt, I know the boss lady is. She goes to the thrift stores just to see if there's any other craft supplies that somebody dropped off. So it's really good to find something from a garage sale, too, because you know it wasn't just sat on a shelf forever. Somebody actually took care to keep these hopefully nice and tidy. But Donna's having that garage sale again at 207 Walter Court, right off of Erie, 9 to 4, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to take a quick break as we walk through the hour here. We're going to talk about the Elgin Academy in this hour. The Elgin Academy is celebrating a illustrious history, and we're going to talk about the future of everyone involved and the students that have gone there. You're listening to Out to Lunch, WRMN. Talk of the town, the voice of the valley, and the home of radio shopping. Columbia College of Missouri Elgin campus is intent in their commitment to open doors and support those who strive for excellence. Too many people have been made to feel that higher education isn't a place for them, that it is someone else's dream. But Columbia College of Missouri has changed all that. With individualized attention and ongoing support, Columbia College knows a future built by you is a future built for you. Columbia College of Missouri Elgin campus, your new starts now. Visit ccis.edu.
Rooted in their family Mexican history, churros are made daily with love. Churros and Chocolate at 2533 West Algonquin Road has churros made from family recipes with care and fresh each day with delicious fillings. There's also the Frida Cafe where you can relax and catch up with a friend while having a warm drink. Try Churros and Chocolate specialty churros, the churro sundae, or take home a churro cake. Visit churros, the letter Y, chocolateinc.com.
As the Elgin Police Department continues to participate in the Distracted Driving campaign, they wanted to share some tips from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration website regarding safe driving. If you are expecting a text or need to send one, pull over and park your car in a safe location. Once you are safely off the road and parked, it's safe to text. Designate your passenger as your designated texter. Allow them to access your phone to respond to calls or messages. Do not engage in social media scrolling or messaging while driving. Are you struggling not to text and drive? Activate your phone's Do Not Disturb feature or put your cell phone in the trunk, the glove box, or the back seat of your vehicle until you arrive at your destination. Remember, the Elgin Police are conducting directed patrols to enforce distracted driving violations. Just drive and stay safe. A message from our friends at the Elgin Police Department and your friends here at WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM. Garibaldi's Italian Eatery offers Italian dishes, subs, kids menus, and their delicious pizza. The foundation of a great pizza starts with the crust. Garibaldi's crust is crunchy at the bottom, airy in the middle, and perfect every time. The finest ingredients are used to give their pizza this exquisite crust and wonderful taste. Dine at either of the Garibaldi's 2 locations in Hoffman Estates and Arlington Heights. Free party rooms are available too. Visit Garibaldis.com today. A dream that's been cooking for years, Maria's Little Italy in Sycamore is waiting for you to come and enjoy authentic recipes handed down for generations. Stop in and enjoy bruschetta, handmade focaccia bread, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more. Dine in, take out, delivery, or catering is all available. Go to mariaslittleitaly.com and see what you've been missing. From their family to yours, welcome to Maria's Little Italy, where food brings families together.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch with WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. You are joining me once again for another fantastic afternoon where we get to meet yet another friend. What I like about being the new kid in town is I get to meet all the friends. Everybody else maybe makes a new friend every, I don't know, couple weeks, months, something like that. I get to meet and make a new friend almost every single week. It is absolutely amazing. Again, I'd love to challenge you. Do you have a better job than me? Well, we'll see. But the person we're going to talk to today has come to represent the ElginAcademy.org. That would be Paul Druzinski. You can find more information about Elgin Academy at ElginAcademy.org. And we're going to talk about some great events that are coming up. One event in particular. But without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on that said new friend. Paul, thank you very much for being here with me today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I will challenge you on one thing. I think I do have a better job than you. However, there's no way I have a better nickname than you have.
Oh, fair enough.
Which is Sonar. That's awesome.
Druzinski, I think, is pretty good there. Does anybody ever call you like Ski or something
Drew
like
is,
that?
I grew up as being called Drew or Little Drew because I had two older brothers.
Oh, okay.
So
well, yeah, they would also be
Big Drew, Middle Drew, and I was Little Drew.
There you go. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about growing up. Let's talk about the community that you're always surrounded with. They say it takes a village to raise a child, right? And it's no more apparent than just looking at any school that's out there. Doesn't matter if that school is elementary, high school, vocational. Look, if you want to look at your community, look how they treat the people that want to grow.
I love that. That's absolutely true.
So let's talk a little bit about the ElginAcademy.org and Elgin Academy itself. When did you take over operation over there?
I took over a year ago, almost a year ago, last July. Mm-hmm. I was brought in as what they call an interim head. Part of the appeal for me was, in fact, speaking of community, is I grew up in the heart of Chicago and went to a progressive independent school called Francis Parker, mm-hmm. which I, as a kid, used to play against Elgin Academy in all the different sports.
Okay.
So I knew of Elgin Academy and its long, wonderful history. And as it turned out, I went throughout my career in independent schools. So when I heard that Elgin was looking for an interim head, that was very appealing to me because I know if they're anything like Parker, which I do believe we are, mm-hmm. It's just an absolutely wonderful, warm community that any family would have been fortunate to be a part of, and any employee would as well.
That's wonderful. And how is it that a team comes together for an academy like this? Is it something that when a new person takes over, you have trusted people that you bring over, or do you turn around and say, you know what, this is a system that is working here, let me just put my style into it?
Great question. Typically, unlike in the big corporate world, when heads of school come in, they should take at least a year or two to really analyze and see what the situation is, because typically they're coming into a school that already has a very strong program and a great reputation, which Elgin Academy has.
You don't know which thumb that you're pulling from the dam is the one that's keeping it up.
Exactly. And, I think everyone knows at this point in this situation, the circumstances became extremely difficult. We've been around 185 years, but as it turned out, we needed to make this the last year of Elgin Academy. So, some of the charge that I had while I was here was different than if it was, as you said, looking to see what needs to be done. And here it was, how can we collectively be as supportive as possible of the current students? That was our number one priority, along with the faculty and staff, to ensure that this last school year is as good as any school year. I mean, just because it's the last year, people deserve to have it as good, if not better, than the first year 185 years ago.
End with a bang, end with that final push.
Absolutely.
And we've got a celebration that's happening Saturday. That's 1 to 4. That is bittersweet. It's a 185-year journey, and it's a 185-year. I guess the best way I can put it, because optimism and future is the best way to look forward. This is 185 years of a cured foundation. You do not live or be a part of a community for 185 years without affecting it immensely. And this celebration isn't necessarily a celebration just for Elgin Academy, but for that first word more, Elgin.
I believe so. I'm new to the Elgin community, but I quickly came to fall in love with it, because this really is a special area, and not just Elgin Academy, but the whole area has a wonderful history. And once we made the decision in November that we were going to close, one of the very first things that we did was to say, yes, this is bittersweet. This is a very painful process, but we owe it to the past and the present to honor this rich history. And so we immediately began plans to do what we're doing on Saturday, which was to invite everybody to come to Elgin Academy, focusing on all the alums and the former faculty and staff and all the former parents, and of course the current student population, to come and really celebrate together this 185-year history. So while it is, as we keep saying, the same word, bittersweet, there's lots to be grateful for and lots to focus on that really has so positively affected so many generations of families in this community.
And that's, you hit it on that word. As part of my job, I love words, and its effect. Is you cannot live in a bubble. You are part of an ecosystem, you're part of a community, you are part of a city, wherever you are. Even if you're just passing through, you still have some sort of effect on that city. And again, 185 years, that is a lot of lives affected. And the time has come for us to say our final goodbyes to Elgin Academy, and more importantly, to celebrate all that is this beloved school has meant to so many people for such a long time. Please join us Saturday, May 25th from 1 to 4 p.m. under the huge tent on the campus lawn. Enjoy an afternoon of reminiscing, visiting well-remembered campus spots, and renewing relationships that were all part of your time here on the Hill, as we honor both the Academy's unique history and its remarkable legacy. And I think that, to take us back to words, legacy. I think that's where that word is there. And the students and the alumni are what carry that legacy.
They're so proud of it. And the way you just described it, I don't know that anyone could describe it better than you just did.
And, well, you wrote it. You guys wrote it. I just took it from your website. You wrote it really well. It's really nice.
I know who wrote it then.
No, it's fine.
Shout out to them. I got it.
ElginAcademy.org. You can see the events right there. You can go right into it and even see. Let me see if I can pull it up on the YouTube side. Okay. So those of you watching and listening on YouTube, you can see that there. The ElginAcademy.org. The arrival and check-in is going to be around 12:30 and 1 p.m. You go to the blue tent, pick up a name tag. You need a name tag so that you can...
Technically, you were supposed to RSVP. We're still welcome members of the community, but you should know that it's going to be thankfully crowded. Well over 600 people have RSVP'd. Wow. And so we have, parking will be available in the various sites around the school.
You've got a lot of name tags to prepare.
We'll have shuttle buses if needed from the parking lot to get to the campus, although it is a short walk. And thankfully, it's supposed to be a beautiful day. So,
yeah.
Everyone, of course, was hoping for no rain, and thankfully, it's looking that way.
So let's start from there. Let's start from, so I arrive downtown and I can park over at the Ace Hardware or the Pittsburgh Paints or Kellenberger Auto Service or the BMO. Yep. There are the 4 destinations or 4 places you can park. But then there's also all of the parking that's around here anyway. You got the 95 Symphony, 100 Douglas, and then the Highland Avenue, Chicago.
Yeah, there's plenty. There will be plenty of parking, but it's just... there will be a lot of people, which is wonderful.
And then the shuttle side of it, how often are you running those shuttles through?
We will probably do that every half hour, 20 minutes. We're just not sure, and we're not sure who's going to need it. We want to make sure that people who might need some help and assistance, because the walking is very short, but it could be a hot day, and we want to be as respectful to people as possible to make it as easy as possible.
Do you have a number that anybody could call in case they're there?
We will provide it so that we can immediately call the...
Wonderful.
We're providing cell phones to the drivers.
Oh, great. Yeah. No, that'll be wonderful, because you're right. Sometimes even a short walk can ruin a whole day as you're going through it. Go. But it's really neat that you have a lot of these celebrations put together. You even have a history exhibit that's happening over there.
Yes. Well, and before my time here, we donated the first classroom building to the town of Elgin, and that's where the History Museum is. And we have a room in there that is dedicated to Elgin Academy. And beyond that, it's a fabulous museum. I've been there a couple times already, and I would recommend it to any and everybody. It's just wonderful. And we're expanding all of what they're going to be sharing about Elgin Academy as well.
And you've got food trucks that'll be over there. That'll be kids' activities. Of course, the inflatable castle. You've got to get a bouncy house
there'll
nowadays.
Be something.
Otherwise...
we've got some of that stuff for the little guys. And there'll be a very short introduction. I will say a few words. We've got a special guest coming who is the very first graduate of Elgin Academy.
Really?
Will be there. Yes.
Really? That is fantastic. Yeah. Look for the decades tables too. Let's talk about these decades tables. Yeah. What is the concept behind those?
The concept is that for many graduates of any institution, they remember the things about their time there, and so even the jerseys and the sports teams or the different swag, as it's called today, may be different from generation to generation.
Oh, the different styles.
Yeah, so we have a table with the different memorabilia stuff for each one of the decades of the school. And, schools evolve like cultures evolve. So it's really pretty cool. And we're going to have a way for some of those things to be given away to, alum who remember it and love that jersey that they remember and things like that. So that's how that will work. Mostly it's going to be on very informal display for everyone to see.
And this is more of a open forum as well. So while you're out there, you can meander into some of the classrooms.
Great question.
If that was a classroom that you and your best friend, maybe you met your wife there.
Exactly. exactly. We want people to come back and walk through the space that meant the most to them during their time here. Because, there are one building in particular that is new over the last 15, 20 years, the Ryder Center. Oh. But all the other buildings have been around for a very long time. So I doubt that there's anyone that will be there where their space isn't still there in some form.
Wow. And to think about it, you go and you sit under that tree that may be slightly bigger, right? Maybe a little bit bigger. Trim back a little bit. That's true. Or you always go and you say, I remember something being here. And you go, oh, no, that's where this was, or we had this play set was different than it is now. Right. It's all about that nostalgia and pulling into that, because this is a celebration. This is a legacy celebration. Yes. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're going to take a quick break here, but don't forget, you can find more information about the Elgin Academy Legacy Celebration that is happening Saturday, May 25th. 1 to 4 p.m. Make sure you get down there. Make sure you go visit. Go ahead and get you some of that nostalgia. Go ahead and get a hit of it, because we've got a lot of memories, 185 years of memories for the Elgin Academy. ElginAcademy.org. I've got the amazing Paul Druzinski here with me. He'll continue right after this break, and we'll see what is the future of both the alum and the Academy itself. You're listening Out to Lunch, WRMN 1410. Stick around.
Come see the only train-themed restaurant where all the seating is on the tracks. Two Toots Train Whistle Grill on Main Street in both Bartlett and Glen Ellen is always fun and always fresh. Two Toots Train Whistle Grill serves 100% grass-fed beef hot dogs and burgers. There's also chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, and more, all loaded up on 2 Lionel O scale trains and delivered directly to your seat. No one sits away from the fun, regardless of age. When a train arrives delivering your food, you'll smile ear to ear. Visit twotoots.com.
It's always exciting to hear Elgin business owners like Tanner Melvin of Side Street Studios share positivity about the local community.
Elgin is on its way, and it has been, and sometimes, we got set back, the pandemic, and it's been rough. Everyone has felt it, and in so many different ways. What we're trying to do is a lot of hand-holding and shoulder rubbing and being like, it's okay, it's okay. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get this town a lot more money. We're very lucky to live in this community right now. There's nothing like this around here.
Feel the positive power of the first shift with me, Marky B, weekday mornings on WRMN.
Let me tell you a story about Bill. Bill was a normal guy in his 50s. He had back surgery about 2 years ago. Bill was in a lot of pain. He dealt with his pain by taking the Percocets his doctor prescribed for him. Bill took more and more and more of them to help with the pain, until one day the prescriptions weren't enough to get rid of Bill's pain. Then one day Bill found someone to help him get rid of the pain with illegal drugs he didn't need a prescription for. Fast forward to today. Bill lost his job and his family. The only thing he does have is his drug dealer. If you know Bill's story and you don't want to end up like Bill, call the Detox and Treatment Helpline right now. to get away and get treatment. 800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. Call right now. Help is standing by. 800-694-1127.
It's easier than you think for pests to threaten your family's health. Ticks, which spread dangerous diseases, hide in tall grasses and even on your pets. Rodents easily invade your home, contaminate food, and can carry more than 35 diseases. Mosquitoes, which breed in standing water, transmit many diseases. Get the facts you need to protect your family at pestworld.org. It's that easy. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
You never know what or who you'll hear from on the first shift with me, Marky B. Like Tim Skoning, a WRMN news reporter back in the 1960s.
The jingles you all played, they were purchased by Dick Sutter. He was at some radio convention. He came back with this reel. I remember them playing that in the studio. We were so excited. We thought we were network now. And it's the same jingles today.
That's great.
Every time I hear them, I get excited about it.
I'm sure.
It's a lot of fun.
Fun times on the first shift, right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
WRMN has been serving Elgin and the Fox Valley for 75 years, featuring a combination of local news, information, and entertainment in the mornings, followed by the radio shopping show for 5 hours each weekday. The first shift with Marky B starts your morning at 6 a.m., and it's always fun when Larry Jones is a part of the show.
Maybe we need to get a radio intern in to help.
Maybe so.
Somebody that you won't have to pay and you can treat them tough.
I can haze them.
Can't haze. You'll get fired. Remember that guy from Northwestern?
Yeah.
Gone.
Did he really do it?
You don't have to really do it. If somebody says you did,
yeah,
good enough. Maybe I'm going to accuse you of hazing me. I don't have to prove it.
And then there'll be a lot of people that come out of the and say that I also hazed
I
him.
remember when Mark hazed me. I've been hazed.
Mark hazed me back in 2012.
2012. I remember in Memphis one time. He was really mean to me.
It's first shift fun and information in the morning, combined with the radio shopping show to save you money. And you get it right here on WRMN AM 1410, WRMN 1410 Radio on Facebook, and WRMN1410.com.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch with WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. I'm taking you through the rest of this hour. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for having this conversation. Thank you for listening to this conversation. Again, don't forget that you can always call in to the studio, Studio 14, at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. But if you're going to tippity-tap those fingers around the dial or anywhere else, go ahead and go to elginacademy.org. I have a brand new friend in here. That would be Paul Druzinski. Paul Druzinski is here to talk about the Elgin Academy and the Legacy Celebration that is happening on May 25th, 1 to 4 p.m. What do you expect to achieve with this celebration here? Obviously, celebration, let's have a good time. But are you looking for memories? Are you looking for bringing students back together? Is it just a culmination of everything?
In some ways, it's a culmination of everything. It's an opportunity also for former classmates over the generations to come back, almost like an alumni reunion. Mm-hmm. It's an opportunity for the past and present to come together with a shared experience. Again, bittersweet, but very important for the future, because while Elgin Academy will not physically exist, we hope it will exist forever in the hearts and minds of all those who attended, worked, sent their kids there,
absolutely,
connected with the people and the place. And something like this, we hope, will forge future gatherings and future conversations, ways for people to stay connected.
185 years, somebody in Elgin has a story that you know of, somewhere in
Most
your life.
we want to hear, some can keep them.
That's true. That's true. Keep some of the stories for yourself. Yeah. But But we'd love to see you there. We'd love to see you there Saturday. Show up at about 12:30. Pick up your name tag. But we need to register before we show up, right? What's the easiest way to do that?
I think registration is closed now, but you can still come.
You still show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't keep me over with the velvet rope where I get to watch everybody else.
No, you're in. You're in.
Wonderful. Also, you can set up alumni reunions as well, like you were talking about for the future. Alumni at elginacademy.org is the best way to find that. You can also visit the alumni information page. That again is elginacademy.org/community/events/friends alumni information. You can also find the alumni button right at the top of the home page in case you can't remember all of those different slashes. Play around. It's a fantastic, really great informational website. What is going to be the, where can we reach you going forward here, sir?
Well, right now, we're going to keep the elginacademy.org domain.
Mm-hmm.
So for the current future, people who need to reach out, we will have that set up. So if you Google, you can
elginacademy.org.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for being here with me. Hour 2 for Out to Lunch coming up. Find more information at the YouTube, WRMNradio.com.
Twin Zeros, located at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights, serves traditional gyros as well as its award-winning chicken gyros on a pita. Twin Zeros has a diverse menu that includes barbecue ribs, chicken dinners, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, cheeseburgers, and Vienna beef hot dogs that have recently been inducted into the Vienna Beef Hot Dog Hall of Fame. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. That's Twin Zeros at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights, Illinois.
For an absolutely amazing meal and attentive, smiling staff, try Red Ox Restaurant and Bar in Hampshire. They have a delicious Friday night fish fry. There's so many great dishes on the menu that'll keep you returning. Try their savory French onion soup. Then for your main course, choose from a wide variety of steaks and chops, fried chicken, shrimp, or juicy prime rib, done just the way you like it. Red Ox also has daily specials and a full bar for you and your friends. Visit redoxhampshire.com today.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 1 o'clock.
With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Explore proven results with Sky Rizzy. A pair of 18-year-olds from Carpentersville are under arrest following a shooting on North McLean Boulevard. Luis Loya and Jose J. Gavina arrested after a shooting that occurred on May 19th resulted in one man being hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries, both teenagers facing multiple gun-related charges. The Fox Valley Genealogical Society is inviting enthusiasts to delve into wartime histories with the upcoming presentation, Exploring the Greatest Generation, adding context to the veteran story by Jennifer Holick. The event scheduled for June 13th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Naperville Municipal Center. Elgin is set to host a celebration of Mexican Independence Day and the onset of Hispanic Heritage Month with the Fiestas Patrias set for Festival Park September 13th and 14th. The festivities will kick off with an array of cultural performances, a car meetup, and a diverse retail vendor market. With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. N61, visit staples.com/print for details.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Everyone has a community to lean on. A neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. You've talked with your kids and shared clear expectations, but you're not with them every minute. Your community members, friends and relatives, teachers and coaches, faith leaders, and other important adults in your kids' lives can be your eyes, ears, and a supportive influence when you're not around, reinforcing your messages with your kids and alerting you to warning signs of underage drinking or other substance use. So talk with your kids about these issues and involve the members of your community to help keep your kids safe. Because when you talk, they hear you.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. The Blue Jays beat the White Sox 9-2. Toronto scored 7 times in the bottom of the second. Bo Bichette homered and had 3 RBI. Dalton Varsho reached base 3 times and drove in a pair. Chicago wrapped up their road trip at 1-5. Tommy Pham had a solo homer. Paul DeJong hit a sac fly. The Sox are just 5-21 away from home. At Wrigley Field Wednesday, the Braves pounded the Cubs 9-2. Atlanta put up 6 runs in the top of the 7th. Max Fried struck out 9 while throwing the 3-hitter for his second complete game of the season. Marcell Ozuna, Matt Olson, and Adam Duvall homered for the Braves, who had dropped 5 of 6. Chicago's runs came in the bottom of the 6th and the 8th. Miguel Amaya had an RBI ground out. Then in the 8th, Dansby Swanson scored on a wild pitch. Bears OTAs continue today as the team gets set for mandatory minicamp in June. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
This is sponsored by Burger King. Burger King is turning 70 on June 1st and wants to celebrate with you. In honor of this milestone birthday, have it your way with sweet deals for members of the free Burger King loyalty program, Royal Perks. Members will have access to 7 days of daily exclusive digital offers like a free hamburger and free original chicken sandwich with purchases of 70 cents or more, beginning on May 28th and running through June 3rd. Among the digital deals, Royal Perks members can enjoy a medium, ice-cold Coca-Cola soft drink for free with a purchase of 70 cents or more on Thursday, May 30th. Royal Perks members can also celebrate with a $6 birthday meal featuring a flame-grilled Whopper Jr., small fries, small soft drink, and the all-new birthday pie slice for just $6. To learn more about all of the BK birthday offers and to get in on the party, including playing an exclusive game on the BK app, download the Burger King app and sign up for Royal Perks today. Price and participation vary. U.S. only.
Clocking out? Drive home with the Drive Time Deal with Matt McNeil on WRMN 1410 AM every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. I bring you the hottest deals in town, the most intriguing stories, and the tracks that take the edge off rush hour. Tune in on 1410 AM. Catch us on YouTube Live at WRMN Radio or stream through our app. I've got the wheel to steer your evening right. WRMN 1410 AM, your home of radio shopping and the soundtrack to your commute.
Rise and shine, Fox Valley listeners. It's time to kickstart your day with First Shift with Marky B on WRMN 1410 AM. From 6 to 9 a.m., join the chatter that gets you clued in with the latest buzz around town. Don't just sip on your coffee. Let Marky B brew your morning with the perfect mix of news, views, and moves. Dial us in or live stream at WRMN1410.com and make your mornings a whole lot brighter. WRMN 1410 AM. We're the voice of the Valley, and we're here to talk.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch. Out to Lunch at WRMN. My name is Dennis Onar Green. I'll be taking you through the next hour. 6 after this hour right now. I'll be taking you all the way to 5850 for those of you playing at home. Set your watches, set an alarm. That's the time it's going to happen. Atomically. I don't know if you know this, but there's different types of time. What? Yeah. It's crazy. You got your watch, you know it's all relative. Time is relative. There's nothing more apparent that time is relative than the fact that can we get a couple clocks to agree? That's a question I always get with with my students. They turn around and they'll say, well, Professor Sonar. Well, at least in my dreams, I hope they say Professor Sonar. Most of the time they say, hey, you guy that teaches the things. And they'll ask and they'll say, well, if I'm taking network programming for my radio station, I don't know, I teach media, but if I take network programming as it comes down, how do I know when to go to the commercial break? When do I know the news is coming? You got to kind of put together a clock. We deal in seconds, life ticking away. We've all stared at a clock for a while and just gone, oh my goodness, I just spent the last 2 minutes staring at that clock, just watching it spin. But here's the thing. How do I know if it's 15 seconds? How do I know if it's 45 seconds? How do I know if it's 23 seconds after? It's hard. That's a big, long thing for all of us all around the world to all agree on a time. Well, we agree on it because of a thing we call atomic time. It's something that we all agree on. If I turn around and say, I'm going to see you at 3 o'clock, hopefully you're getting ready for drive time deals with Matt McNeil at that time. But if we say that, if I say, hey, I'm going to see you at 3 o'clock, you're going to first ask me where. That's why space and time are the same thing. Because there's a time, but there's also a where. If I just say, meet me at 3, we're both going to be confused. Now, you can imply, oh, meet me at my house, whatever the conversation is. But if the only information I ever give you is meet me at 3, where? My house, your house, the deli, on the moon? Where am I meeting you? So you say, where? Here's the place that we go to. So it's all about agreeing. It's all about agreeing on facts. It's all about agreeing on the system in which we all need to operate. People talk about how we're not a democracy. And by we, I mean the United States. We do have some international listeners. But for the most part, I mean the country that includes me in it. A lot of people say that we're a democracy, and other people say we're a republic, et cetera, et cetera. We are a republic that uses democratic process to elect our representatives. We are a representative republic as it comes through. And it's murky, right? It's still they call it the American experiment as it goes. But we have to agree on something. That's what a republic is. A republic is a group of people that agree on a set of laws to be governed under. That's it. End of definition. Look it up. Please look it up. Call me if I'm wrong. But that is, in essence, what a republic is supposed to be. Us agreeing. Let's look at time. I know that I got to meet you at 3 o'clock. I know the place I'm supposed to meet you at 3 o'clock. But what if we don't agree on the time zones? What if I turn around and say, yeah, I'll meet you at 3 o'clock, but it'll be 3 o'clock Eastern. It'll be 3 o'clock Pacific. So here's the thing. There are certain systems that we have to adhere to. If I go to a McDonald's and the McDonald's says, no, this sandwich is worth $5, and I say, no, the value's $4, they're not going to give me it for $4. The system that we agree on is the system of the person that has and sets the price to sell. They're not you can't forcibly give them something or force them to sell something at what I perceive the value to be. That's not freedom. That's not capitalism. That's not the laissez-faire aspect of what we're trying to do here. So what am I getting to the point of this? Here's the issue. We're being told all the time, constantly, we are not in a recession. Multiple times a day, even, we are being told we are not in a recession. Oh, you're a crazy person. Yeah, stuff is getting more expensive. Yeah, I'm having trouble paying bills over here. Well, we had to cut back on this. Oh, we weren't allowed to do that because, we were all tightening up around here. But in no way is that a recession, right? No. See, and this is the issue, is we either have to have inflation or we have to have a recession. There's no just being. We can't all just agree that this is the way that our economic system is and let's go, because it doesn't work like that. I can't turn around and say this is all the monopoly money that we have, because what happens when you're playing Monopoly and you run out of money? I believe you start writing IOUs. You go back and you say, okay, well, here, let me write it on a piece of paper now. You owe this, I owe you, things like that. In this monetary system, we cannot conceive that these are the only dollars in the system. We can't turn around and say that this is it, this is the finite time. There is only 60 seconds to a minute. There are only 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, et cetera, so on and so forth. Scooby-Dooby-Doo as they go. So we have to agree on something. And what we can all agree on is we're not feeling too well as far as a nation is going. We're not growing. What are the two things that are there? We're going back and forth, inflation or recession. You're either growing or you're dying. One of those two. Look at nature, growth or death. There is no static. There may be status quo, but how long does status quo work? You're moving in a transition. So let's talk about the facts of what we can agree on. We can agree on times are tough. We can agree on that we're getting pinched at the pump. We can agree on that maybe the people that are supposed to be representing us aren't representing us. Those things we can agree on. But those things are feelings. Those things may feel that way, feel hard. Now, by all means, as far as gas, yes, I can point at gas was this, gas was that, et cetera, et cetera. So there are some things that are tangible. There are some things that can be measured. Here's the issue. The reason that they're telling you they're not in a recession is because they are measuring. What are they measuring? Well, they're measuring GDP. They're measuring the growth of the nation as it is right now. They're measuring the stock market. They're measuring housing. They are measuring the standards in which they have been measuring for years and years and years. My thing is, I think we're measuring the wrong issues. Or we're looking at the wrong measurements and saying we are not in a recession. First time in American history, if you are a 30-year-old person right now, you will statistically be worse off than your parents. Harris report right now. Just put it out. First time in American history that the generations that come behind us are now statistically set up for failure. Again, growing or dying. And if you're going to be worse off than your parents, you are failing, right? This is the issues we're running into right now. Other things that are happening. The biggest issue for a lot of this stuff is that we're not measuring the correct measurements. We're not looking at standard of living. We're not looking at housing. Not housing as a look at me, look how much money I have accumulated. Look how much from 2020, before the pandemic, to now, that the average home has jumped from $290 $1,000, upwards of $430 now on average. You don't measure that and turn around, find those numbers, and say we are in a prosperity. But here's where I don't buy into the delusions that my President King is my savior and is my reason. By all means, we can put a face to the government. We can say President so-and-such did this and President so-and-such signed that and they pushed for this thing and that thing over there. Yeah, by all means, they sign off on the legislation. Who writes the legislation? Who interprets the legislation? See, this is where we talk about our education, and the education that sets you free. The truth shall set you free. If I don't know the truth, if I'm not educated by the truth, how am I able to be free? So let's just walk through some truth. I'm not going to deliver the truth. I'm not going to bang you over the head with the truth. We're just going to walk through some logic. 3 branches of government. I know it's crazy to go from talking about time all the way back to the 3 branches of government, but stay with me. Stay with me. The reason is because we all agree to rules. We all agree to systems. We all agree to the things that are around us that keep society together. And in those rules, we have 3 major players. Arguably 4 if you want to throw in the 3-letter organizations. But let's stay away from that mess. Let's just focus on the 3 branches of government. Executive enforces, judicial reviews, legislative makes. That's how it works. So if there's a problem with a law, we take it to the judicial system, and the judicial system says, this is what we think the law says. We are the check to the way that the law was written. Now, I could write a great law, I could write a great book, I could write the best poem in the entire world. But if you don't think it's great, then it's not the best in the world. It's only the best in the world for me. That's why we have those checks and balances. By all means, the legislators can write what they believe is the best legislation in the entire world. But there may be some things left open for interpretation, and that's where the judicial system comes in. Because if I turn around and I ask the person who wrote the thing, hey, we think this is broken, that person's going to turn around and say, hey, it ain't broken. I did that on purpose. That's the thing. That's the stuff. This is where it goes. And if the person who writes it doesn't like the way that it was interpreted, guess what? They've got a pen. They can write it again. They can write something different. Fix it. This is the way that we have set up laws within our Constitution. I'm not saying this came from some miraculous book out there. I'm not saying that it was dictated to somebody while they looked into a hat. I'm not going to tell you that it was written over the course of thousands of years and includes speaking directly to God about it. No, it's the Constitution written by people. People that are so far removed from us that they couldn't conceive some of the technologies that we have right now. If you told them back in the 1700s that you would be able to stare into a box, because that's the only way that you're able to describe it, and by the way, this box is incredibly thin, a thin box with a piece of glass on it, and you look through this magical glassed box, and you're able to have a communication with another person. It seems mythical. But they wrote it. They wrote a constitution. They wrote the rules. And one of the rules were the 3 branches of government and their positions in it. If you notice, I didn't mention the third branch, the executive branch. The executive branch is the enforcer of the laws. Somebody makes, somebody interprets, somebody enforces. A plan is only as good as a chance to use it. By all means, I can give you my plan on how we all survive on Mars, but if I never get a chance to actually implement that plan, what good is it? Probably pretty bad. I don't know a lot about colonizing Mars. But just as good as never using a good plan. Just as effective, if you notice. So this is why people climb and clamor to make the presidency the pinnacle. Because the presidency is the one that has to actually carry out the laws. They're the ones that take the new rules, they put on their hall monitor sash, and they go and walk the halls. Police departments are the executive branch. City councils are your legislative side. And of course, you've got your local courts. As we go through today, we're going to talk a little bit about why I chose the system. Why I chose to talk about the system today. And the reason that I want to talk about the system is because there's a system of facts and there's a system of beliefs. We have definitions and we have, objective tendencies, subjective tendencies. We're going to talk about, do you feel like you are in a recession? We can say all day that we're not. We can say all day that the stock market is so great. The GDP is amazing. Everybody's got a job. But what are you measuring? You're listening out to lunch. Again, go ahead and interrupt me at any time. Call Studio 14, 847-931-1410. We'll be right back after these.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Counterfeit products are popping up everywhere. Fake sneakers, fake cosmetics, and even fake pills. Crooks are selling counterfeit versions of just about everything. Last year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products were sold in the U.S. Sure, it may seem like saving a few bucks on the things you want isn't a big deal, but counterfeits are usually made in unsafe conditions.
Let me check in with some of my YouTube peeps. I don't think I've checked in with you guys in a while. Please excuse McGruff. I didn't even see the chat, so hopefully people are over there.
So if you still think buying fake products is harmless, think again.
More of that focus, not just on trades, but focus on starting your business and how to set up a business. You are absolutely right, Dutchman. So what I do when I'm at the school is I will actually, here, let me turn my camera on. So what I do at the school is I teach media as if they are their own business. You know what I mean? You have your own brand. You have your own style. You have your own business as in yourself. My father told me when I was really young that your good name is worth your weight in gold. So to have that business acumen and look at yourself as a business person, showing up on time, following through with things, just looking at it like that, you may be a business person and not have a monetary compensation, but you are making a really good inroad. Good point, buddy. Really appreciate that. Hi to everybody else who's listening. We'll be right back here in just a few more minutes. Thanks for listening on the YouTube side. So we'll try to get you some of these new special things just for YouTube. I got some announcements coming up, and then we'll get back into our discussion. Feel free to jump into the chat as we're talking as well, to jump up with points or anything else. We're going to talk about the recession. My biggest thing is, what are you paying on eggs? My goodness. They used to be able to get like $1 for like 18 or a dozen eggs. I can't imagine. $5? Get out of town. It's craziness. I'll get some time to complain. But thanks again for listening, guys. We'll see you soon.
It's difficult. I definitely feel the pinch. We all feel the pinch at the gas pump, at the grocery store, right, in our rents. But I think most people could handle 27 cents a day to help kids and seniors and people experiencing homelessness.
Discussions like this take place on the first shift, weekday mornings from 6 to 10, right here on WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN 1410 Radio on Facebook.
Experts say regular auto maintenance is one of the most important things for your car. Meineke Car Care Center at 376 Sundown Road in South Elgin covers all your automotive needs. From oil changes, brake services, and emission testing, Meineke's expert staff provides hard work and dedication with the utmost professionalism. Need an oil change? Visit Meineke in South Elgin for their 23-point inspection. Call 847-888-9644.
Take your family out or meet up with a friend for breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Elgin IHOP, located at 101 Randall Road by the theater. They're open for dining 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Stop in at 3 p.m. for happy hour with discounted meal deals for early birds starting at just $6. You can choose from breakfast choices like the pancake sundaes or juicy burgers or maybe a classic burrito bowl. Check out the menu at ihop.com today.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch, WRMN. That is 1410, WRMN 1410, not to be confused with any other 1410 that's out there. If you do find another 1410 that's out there, you make sure to let them know that WRMN is the best. And to ask, what alternate dimension did you step into? No, there's lots of 1410s all around the dial, all around the nation. But there's only one WRMN. And feel free to take WRMN with you. That's why we call this show Out to Lunch. Sometimes we go out to lunch. Sometimes our topics are out to lunch. But mostly, you know that you can take WRMN out to lunch with you and take this conversation with you. Are you a lunch desk warrior? Do you like to go to Cafe Yo Desk? Do you like to, are you one of those, I'll just eat in my car so I don't have to talk to Jackie again? Are you one of those people? That's okay. Are you one of those people that likes to go out, likes to be the gopher in the office? I used to be the gopher. Hey, I'm going to a place. What do you want to get? And then you go. It was before all the DoorDash nonsense and everything else out there. It was a lot of times was if you went out and you didn't go get something for somebody, we called you one way. You're a one-way street, man. You're not gonna help anybody out. You got to go get lunch. You're not gonna ask anybody if we're hungry. Come on, one way. Just messing around a little bit over here. We do have some announcements here and there. New press release for the Kane County Clerk's Office for the Memorial Day holiday hours. Kane County Clerk's offices are actually closed on Monday, May 27th for the Memorial Day holiday. Business hours will resume on Tuesday, May 28th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. See the Kane County Clerk's Office website for updated information and details at kanecountyclerk.org. The Wall That Heals, Vietnam Veteran Memorial Replica and Mobile Education Center, brought to you by True Patriots Care and the American Legion, will be out there. I believe we'll be out there Friday. Hey, that's tomorrow. That's where we'll be. Come join us out there for the memorial aspect of the day. I know everybody likes to get their hot dogs and everything else done, but let's spend a reason. Let's sit for it. Let's spend some time thinking. It doesn't necessarily need to be a prayer. There's some people out there that aren't religious or on that side of the I guess spiritual spectrum. But remembrance doesn't have to be spiritual. So let's see here. What else do I got? Oh, yes, of course. Donna right now is having a garage sale. Donna over at 207 Walter Court, just off of Erie here in Elgin. She'll be there 9 to 4 today, Friday, and Saturday. She says she has lots and lots of crafting stuff. So if you're handy with them hands, if you like to phalange your phalanges, go ahead and get some crafting out there. But I want to continue to talk about this Harris report that's come out. First, let's play something from our friends from News Nation. A new survey shows, that's the Harris poll, just conducted this month, 55% of those polled say that they believe the economy is shrinking. 56% say that they believe the nation is in a recession. And 58% blame President Biden. News Nation's Elizabeth Prawn has more. Oh, hold on. Did it to me again. Didn't want to do it. This new survey, the experts say that despite public opinion, inflation is not increasing right now. It hasn't. It's been hovering around 3 or 4%, which is fine. 3 or 4% is normal inflation, so we're not too crazy with it. And during COVID, it was as high as 9%. But here we go. Let's see if Elizabeth's ready.
Nearly 3 in 5 Americans believe that we are in a recession. The fact of the matter is that we're not in a recession. 55% believe the economy is shrinking. 56% believe we're in a recession. 58% blame President Biden. The Harris poll was done this month. So what is the definition of a recession? Well, it's a drop. It's a decline in the gross domestic product, the GDP, over the course of 2 financial quarters. The U.S. National Bureau of Economic Research really does have the final say, and they say that right now we are not in a recession. The GDP, they say, is rising. There was a recession in April of 2020. We remember that, right? It was short, but quite severe. It wasn't really to the levels that we saw starting at the end of 2007 throughout 2008 and kind of bleeding into 2009. That was a global recession. So you might be wondering, okay, so what are consumers feeling? Well, they're still feeling really that bumpy road of inflation and those really high interest rates.
I do think there's a big disconnect between the way people feel and what the numbers in sort of a clinical, evaluation would suggest. I think Main Street, as opposed to Wall Street, however you want to phrase it, regular folks do in fact feel the pain of the economy.
And they can feel. So if you look at this poll, in fact, 72% say they feel inflation is rising. It's not. It's flirting between 3 and 4%.
3 and 4%. Yes, it rises. It goes up. Some of that is because, I don't know, maybe prices of goods go up. Never seen it go down because prices of goods go down. I've never seen the Big Mac Road Economics. I've never seen the Big Mac go down all of a sudden because what? Because we got better labor. So it's the perspective aspect of everything right now. And if you have money in the stock market, if you have already purchased your home or are on the last few years of your home, with that incredibly amazing refinanced rate that you've got, congratulations on it. If you are already retired, if the only expense that you ever have to worry about is feeding yourself, Well, housing yourself, clothing yourself, etc. But you've only got responsibility for yourself. You're doing a great job. Now, if you rent, if you've got any kind of debt, student or otherwise, if you are part of the gig economy now 1 out of every 3 jobs created is gig economy job. Not W-2 job, not go work for the boss, not show up, clock in, punch out, work at a factory. It is hop in your car and drive to deliver sandwiches. Have a band that you've got to now hustle on the side of the street and busk because I've got to make money to feed whatever I've got. Ubers. You know, it's that other side of the gig economy. Oh, well, movers. Okay, well, you hire me here and there. I make a couple $5 an hour in tips just helping people move on I don't know. There's like a chimp, Go Chimp or something like that is a platform, or Go Puff to go to grocery stores for people. You know what I mean? Is those gig economy side. Well, with that, you don't get health benefits. You don't get vacation. If you don't work, you don't get fed. It's just the way it is. No one's there to pick up the slack for you, etc. So you're thinking about now how a third of all the jobs are like that. And you're not even like, let's go beyond talking about a union. Let's just talk about the job itself with no protection. So this is what we're trying to get to, is you may feel right now that you're not in a recession. You may turn around and go, man, I wish the price of eggs would stop going up. I really wish the price of gas would stop going up. Count yourself lucky. And a lot of people talk about privilege. They talk about, oh, well, you're privileged to only have 3 bills that you have to pay. You pay your cell phone bill and you feed yourself. Congratulations. But you earned that. By all means, everybody who's retired right now, pat yourself on the back. You earned it. You went there. You got it. You sustain yourself. Congratulations. I am not faulting you in any kind of way. That's what retirement is supposed to be. Gather it up, gather enough to survive until you don't need it anymore. And then whatever's left, you send it back to whoever's below you. But that concept right there is where I think we are changing. Is the use it until you don't need it anymore and let it go. The average age of an American right now in the United States, because Americans in the United States, right? 38. That's it. 38. That's the number. Average American. You look at the average American, picture the average American in your head. Maybe it's you. If it's you, either jump in your time machine and go forward or backwards to 38, but that's it. That's the average American. Think about what you were doing at 38. Think about the life that you had at 38. Think about the family you were creating at 38, whether it was from your own loins or whether it was from the friends and relationships that you were growing. The average politician for America, 68. Do you think Nancy Pelosi, who had her first child when there was still black and white televisions in every single home, do you think she understands how teenage girls that are bombarded with all of these advertisements and crushing body dysmorphia? Do you think she relates to that? Now, by all means, you can. I'm not saying she doesn't. What I'm saying is that there has to be somebody who is better qualified, or there has to be somebody who is more in tune. And I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to be an ageist. I'm not going to be that person that turns around and says, everybody who's retired, everybody who's a baby boomer, everybody who's a Gen Xer, everybody who's not me is terrible. No, because we're all in this together. I contribute to the ecosystem the same way you contribute to the ecosystem. It's a different piece. It's a different time structure. We all want different things from the ecosystem, but we are all giving and taking. Is what I'm giving more take, more greed? That could be. There are people like that in this ecosystem. But what I'm telling you right now is the system used to work. Life is growth. Life goes up. Growing or you're dying. This ecosystem grew. The first generation in the American experiment, including the generations that went through the Great Depression, this is the first generation that statistically will not be better than their parents. I'm a parent. I want to make sure that the world that I leave is better. When did we lose that? When did we turn around and say, I got mine and I'm keeping it? I'm not even going to love my family, let alone my neighbor. Family against family. What, because of ideals? What, because of tax brackets? What, because you wear a red hat and I wear a blue shirt? That's what we've sacrificed this for? So I'm not here to wag fingers, not here to tip hats. I'm not here to point blame. I'm not here to say anything other than let's get together. In the next few years, the largest payment that the American people will make won't be health care, won't be military. It will be paying back the debt that we have accumulated in the 30 years that I have been alive. You're listening to Out to Lunch, WRMN. If you want to jump into the conversation, if you want to express not necessarily your disdain, but you want to express how hard it is for you right now, and you just need to grieve just a little bit for the loss of our upward momentum, feel free to call me, 847-931-1410. Otherwise, when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to talk about solutions. Don't like having problems that I can't see a solution for. Now, by all means, a meteorite's going to come and crash into the earth. We can't do anything about it. Sure. Long ago, my mama told me, put the world in two categories. Things you can control, things you can't. Out to lunch, WRMN. I'm Dennis Onar Green.
Seniors, how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 800-699-9043.
This is Marky B inviting you to feel the power of the first shift.
To God be the glory, my brother. Thank you so much. You are such an inspiration to many of folk that's here in Elgin. I'm in West Dundee. I'm a Dundeeite now, not an Elginite anymore, but I love you. I can even give a number of prayers that we as a people continue to grow and to be there for one another. Please, people, let's get on board. Check on your neighbors, check on your friends, and just give an inspiration that life is worth living.
It's the first shift weekday mornings from 6 until 10, right here on WRMN. Thirst-quenching craft beers await you on tap at the Spotted Fox Ale House in St. Charles with food and drink specials daily. Stop in on Tuesdays for half-off Black Angus burgers and $4 nitro drafts. Fridays feature the Spotted Fox Atlantic Cod Fish Fry. It's hand-dipped in Blue Moon batter, giving it a light, crispy coating, and served on a bed of fries. Grab your boots for country line dancing Saturdays. Watch all the games at the Spotted Fox. Spotted Fox is now hiring, so stop by and apply. Check out SpottedFoxAlehouse.com.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. No matter the time of the day, WRMN 1410 AM is your platform to voice your views, share your stories, and connect with the Valley like never before. We're more than just radio. We're a community conversation that's always live, always local, and always looking for your input. Want to chime in on the drive time deal with Matt McNeil? Got a hot tip for first shift with Marky B? Or maybe you've got a question for a one-on-one with Leah. Now's the time to make your voice heard by calling Studio 14 at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. You can join in the dialogue from wherever you are by commenting on our YouTube live streams at WRMN Radio. Hit the subscribe button to get notified when we go live and bring your comments to the table. It's easy, it's fun, and hey, it's what neighbors do. We talk, we listen, we engage. You're not just the audience, you're part of the show. Call in, comment, and let's make radio interactive. WRMN 1410 AM, where your words are part of our wavelength.
From morning coffee to your evening commute, WRMN 1410 AM is here for you. The faithful friend that brings you local news, timely topics, and the friendliest voices in the Valley. Stay informed, entertained, and engaged with our full lineup of shows, streaming all day, every day at WRMN1410.com or on the WRMN app. Wherever you are, we're right there with you. So why switch stations? Stick with the one that has it all. WRMN 1410 AM, your daily companion, your constant conversation.
One of the things we're proud of at WRMN is our connection to the local community. In fact, recently we hosted a fundraiser for a longtime listener, Gene Wheeler, and first shift listener George Rollinson says it turned out perfectly.
Perfection is a moving target. You try to hit that bullseye and you zone in on it. It moves a little to the left and it moves a little to the right. I don't know. I'd say we hit a bullseye. I don't know how that could have been any better.
Working together to make Elgin better. We are WRMN AM 1410, serving the local community since 1949.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch. My name is Dennis Onar Green. I have been driving for the last 2 hours and 51 minutes for this show. That is if we started right at noon. We get the news at noon. News at the top of the hour at WRMN. I like to do that. I hate to give away the secret, but it's Pavlovian. That's the secret. I want to train you all to know that the news is at the top of the hour. Come listen to the news. Jump on to WRMN. News at the top of the hour. Speaking of that news, Brendan, thank you very much for bringing this to our notice. Metro service delayed in Bartlett after pedestrian struck and killed by a train, police say. WGN reports.
Thank
Thank you, Paul. Milwaukee District West lines are stopped. We have an update from Bartlett Police that a pedestrian has died after being hit by a train. I want to show you where it is in Bartlett. This train incident is now being investigated. Western is closed at Oneida, people having to find alternative routes. I want to throw it up to Skycam 9 can show you just this train at a standstill. Again, biggest update right now at this hour is that a pedestrian was struck and killed by this Metro train this morning. Just waiting to get more information on the details on how it happened, exactly what time, not anticipating this train to be running anytime soon, just with this investigation underway. We have seen a continuous amount of emergency vehicles and police officers on scene, and of course diverting traffic off of Western since it is closed. So we'll continue to keep you updated, but for now it has been confirmed a pedestrian has been killed due to this train this morning.
All loss of life is terrible. We reach out thoughts and prayers to the family. Don't know names, don't know anything like that, but you know what? We know those people exist. So let's give them their time. Thank you for letting us know about that, Brendan. I also put a link into the chat, but you can go to WGNTV.com to find more about where that is. We do have a caller. I'm going to bring him on one more time for the show. We've only got a few more minutes, but I always love his words of wisdom, and that would be Bob the Brain. Thank you, sir, for coming back.
Thank you very much. I'll try and be brief. You know, the poll that was taken, the people seem to indicate that they believe that we're in a recession, so on and so forth. And, of course, the information from the administration is that is not correct. Well, of course it's not correct. Do you want to know why it's not correct?
What's that?
Well, one of the things is they want to keep the cost of gas separately because that's an important inflationary thing. $99 a gallon right now. And the reason why it's being kept at that point is because the president just took another, I don't know how many millions of gallons of gasoline, the national reserves, and put it on the market.
10 billion, I think, was the number. I gotta find that number. But I think I remember a 10 being there.
Once we replace that, the money's got to come from somewhere. Guess what? National debt will be added to. The other thing is, I paid for my education. It was tough. I don't mind telling you.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing that's happening right now too, Bob.
Money
is your education. Your education was a sixth of what it is right now.
Yes. However,
education and Medicare have gone up way higher than inflation. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. 1/6, yes, I can remember buying a loaf of bread for a quarter, too. But a quarter bought 10 times what it will buy today.
Yes.
So, you know, those things remain the same. It's still, back then, if you made $10,000 a year, you were on Easy Street. Nowadays, if you make $10,000 a year, you can't buy anything.
Well, and that's where they bring in inflation, and also inflation not due to corporations, but inflation due to more money being put into the system. What ends up happening is when we borrow more money, we have to print more money, and therefore there's other dollars out there. It's the capitalists, for some reason, the people that run our monetary system don't know supply and demand also works for paper dollars. I think they don't understand that aspect of it too.
The other thing is that people don't seem to understand that when we forgive these debts, we are not forgiving those debts. We are paying for those debts.
Absolutely.
To the taxpayers.
Yep, and it happened in 2008 when we paid for those debts. And we just continue to pay for debts. I mean, the whole too big to fail, Bob.
Yes, well, we put that the money that people were not paying into repaying their college debts. That money is now going into the economy, and it's driving up inflation.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing too. Should we also turn around and take back those houses that the government helped? I mean, that's where it is there's a struggling part of our society. But you are absolutely right. I do not believe that just because you made a decision that the rest of us should have to follow behind it. But I should also believe that the same litmus test should be put for everybody who makes a bad decision and goes to the government and says, please help me. I made a bad decision.
Well, you can declare bankruptcy if you want to.
You can, but you can declare bankruptcy except for student debt. Student debt is exempt from the bankruptcy. So you can lose your house, you can lose your car, you can lose absolutely everything and be homeless on the street and still owe $800 a month to your Fannie Mae loan.
Well, that's unfortunate. That needs to be corrected.
Absolutely. So that's part of what we're going to talk about over the next couple of days, Bob. I love this whole thing that we're on with education, and I'm so glad that you're a part of it with me, sir. We got to get rolling, but what are you doing to enjoy this beautiful day? Are you stepping outside for a little bit?
I'm listening to the radio.
There you go. Take us with you if you need to. Thanks for talking to us, Bob. Really appreciate it.
Take care.
That's a smart man right there. We need to heed his wisdom and have some more conversations as we go around the world. That's it for me. Thanks. Thanks for having a conversation with me. Thanks for meeting my new friend, Paul Druzinski. You can find Paul at Paul Druzinski or P. Druzinski at elginacademy.org. We'll see you tomorrow. More Out to Lunch. And we'll also be broadcasting tomorrow. See you then.
Be sure to catch the first shift weekday mornings from 6 to